Hey guys, Kakarot197 again, this time with a review of the 144th scale Maxer Gundam Hyper Mode from the G Gundam series. And you might be thinking, what could possibly go wrong with an awesome gold-plated model kit? Well, problem number one is that they couldn't be bothered to use different molds. So you don't have any undergating they use with more modern gold-chromed or plated kits. So that means you're going to have a lot of very ugly and pretty obvious nub marks. For example, on the arm here, on the leg here, on top there's one here, here, and the list goes on and on. And problem number two is, well, this is kind of a minor problem, but it has the same problem as my Piano Black PSP. The chrome itself looks very nice until you touch it. Yes, this guy is pretty much a fingerprint magnet. So, let's go on with the actual review. So for colors, you obviously have the golden chrome, and then you have the polycaps, which are in just normal gray. And well, nothing special was done to them, they're just the normal polycaps. Now for stickers, you get the green thing on the chest here and the eye stickers. And for some reason, you get like all of the stickers for the other Hyper Mode Gundams as well. For some reason, I guess they were trying to save money and just print one sticker sheet for all of them. Now onto the less impressive parts. The articulation. Oh no, wait, one more thing about the golden chrome. Unfortunately, the kit is only chromed on one part, which will become apparent later on and why it is such a problem. Now, articulation, head goes up, down, will turn around all the way, and the arm will turn around if you're careful, because it seems to me that the chrome is actually thicker than normal plastic, because the joints that rub against the chrome seem to be a lot tighter than the joints that don't rub against chrome. For example, the elbow here is a lot looser and only gives about what is that, like 45 degrees? Very, very poor on the arm here. Waist articulation is non-existent, and I could almost say the same for the upper legs here. Go out until they hit the front skirts, and the front skirts themselves do not move at all. Only get that much forwards and that much backwards, and out about that far. So that's really poor, and it really limits the articulation. Now, leg, but quite surprisingly, the knee actually has a lot of bend, but that's pretty much rendered useless thanks to these. Thanks to the wordless articulation of the hip here. The feet once again have some nice articulation, backwards like that, forwards like that, and somewhat side to side. But yeah, you have these worthless hips. Oh yeah, this part here also hinders the out movement of the arm. No matter how you place it, unless you put this in boxing mode, this arm isn't really going anywhere. And now for accessories. Now you might have been wondering why I only had one of these the boxing gloves attached to his shoulder. Well, once you clip it in, you're not going to get it out unless you separate it. So the gimmick here is that there's a little peg in here that you can put in the arm, in the hand, and then he's like in his boxing mode. Though, if I recall correctly from the show, in order for him to enter his boxing mode, this should also be removed, I think. But, oh yeah, you only got that part with the weapon set thing, upgrade part thing, which obviously wasn't made into the hyper mode. So, yeah, that's unfortunate. So, it just goes in like that, and sits in there very securely. You can move it around a little bit. And unlike the one pegged in on the shoulder, you can easily remove it. Now, another thing that has to do with boxing is you can peg this out and then put it in there. And this is where the single-sided chroming becomes a problem. As you can see, this is a very poor silver, while this part here is a very nice chrome piece. And it just, yeah, looks very poor. So let's just put that back and forget about it as soon as possible. Now, another accessory is you have these two guns here on his hip, but you unfortunately only get one that isn't folded up, because these are like folded up. This goes down, and this is the one extended. Now you might think, oh cool, a very nice golden looking beam gun, until you turn it around and you see that it's once again that very, very poor silver. Goes into the hand quite nicely, but when it's in the hand it looks a bit goofy. I mean, it's just sticking out like that and it really doesn't look great. So once again, let's just put that back away and forget about it as soon as possible. And the final feature of this kit is you can pull out his core lander and transform it into his hover car, which now is very nice golden. And let's just put that back in here. And there you have it. So, as always, the inevitable question is, do you want to buy this? And this question pretty much boils down to, what are you looking for? If you're looking for a very nice figure in terms of articulation and whopping accessories and stuff, well, this kit is probably the worst one you could possibly have. Articulation is pretty much non-existent, very poor overall, and the ones that, well, the parts that are very good, that do have very good articulation, well, they don't really matter because you can't take advantage of it because of the other articulation, like in the hip, cancels out the great articulation of the knee. So articulation-wise, very, very poor. And to add to it, this guy is from G Gundam, the series in which they're pretty much kung fu fighting each other all over the place. So you might want to have a figure with good articulation when it's about G Gundam. But if you're just looking for a model to look good on your shelf, well, then we might be having a discussion. This kit is around 700 yen, so that's very cheap for a nice chrome-plated kit. That's only 200 yen more than the original one. So yeah, you might want to consider it if you're a big G Gundam fan, and if you like Rocky here from Neo America, then you might want to consider it. So, for comparison, here is the RX-78-2, and you can see that it's actually quite a small unit, that they're more in line with the Gundam Wing models. And as a final comparison, here is the Gun S, and when you consider that this guy is older and has a lot better articulation, yeah, the depression only gets bigger. Well, that's all for this review, and see you at the next one.